this was when we lived in Mount Juliet, but one night at 1 a.m., there's a cop at the door knocking, and I went out, turned the light on, opened the door, forgot the alarm system was set. So I opened the door, set off the alarm. It's 1 a.m. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. The guy's dressed like a cop.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know. So I'm pulling out my phone, leave the door open to turn the alarm off. Thankfully, it was actually a cop.
Yeah.
And everything was fine, but a kid had wandered away from a birthday party, and they found him. But when that happened, I was like, wow. I was fast asleep, and then I just lost my mind. Like, first of all, I didn't even, like, confirm that the guy – I mean, I did everything wrong in that situation.
Sure.
So because I just didn't have – I never thought about what I would do, and in the spur of the moment, it was like you're waking up and you're disoriented and it's loud and the alarm's off and completely mishandled it. Yeah. So the preparation thing just seems super key.
Yeah, that, just having a plan and going over it every once in a while is important. And, you bring up a good point as far as, opening the door. COVID changed a lot of things. A lot of people are working from home. Some have gone back to work. A lot of them are still home. But, I get this question asked, and we address it in our home defense classes is, what do you do? If it's somebody that isn't expected knocking on your door, what do you do? A lot of people will just go open it, and, especially if it's during the day, not that bad things don't happen at night, but at night, if somebody comes knocking at the door, it's, 10 o'clock, we're more apt to slow up a little bit, think about why is somebody at my door at 10 o'clock, and, maybe ask them who they are through the door, or, turn the light on, look through the window, what have you. But if it's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and somebody knocks on your door, a lot of people don't think, well, I wasn't expecting anybody, but let me go see who it is. And, our advice is on that, if you're not expecting someone. Now, I'm not talking, UPS or the Postal Service or somebody dropping off a package. But if somebody comes to your door and knocks on the door and you're not expecting it, you don't know who they are when you come up and look out the window, don't open the door.
Okay.
The rings and the Nest, those and the security cameras where you can talk through them are great because you don't even have to be home. You can ask them what they want. If you're there, same thing. You can speak through that. Some people will say, well, I just won't answer the door then. If it's somebody I don't know, I won't answer the door and pretend I'm not there. Well, that's not a really good plan either because it's been proven here and right here in Nashville, they've interviewed some burglars, people that break in, and they'll go right up to the door and knock, and if you answer the door, of course they have something that they're going to say like, hey, is John here? No, John doesn't live here. Oh, sorry, I got the wrong address. And they're going to go to another house where there's nobody. But what if they're, a home invader, somebody that has ill intent? They want to just get you to open that door.
Yep.
Or that burglar, if you don't answer the door, then it's like, okay, this might be the house.
Yep. And they're coming in, and now you have a bigger problem.
Yep. And now you're in there, and they didn't expect it, and that leads to other things.
Yeah. And this is another thing I see too, where it's like, it's a good sort of wake up call for me, which is you're saying, look, man, this is also the world we're living in. If someone comes to your door at 3 p.m., it's not UPS, it's not FedEx, it's not Amazon, it's not the mailman, it's not anyone you know, you don't recognize them. You're saying, do not open that door. Yeah, nope. Which to you might be thinking, well, of course, man, come on. But like, this is like, if someone would have came to my door this afternoon at 3 p.m. and knocked on it, I would 100% have opened the door.
Sure, absolutely.
Because I don't want to be rude and giving them benefit of the doubt. And also, I don't know, just the way where I was raised and how I was raised, like, you open the door, someone's at the door, they need help, but that's not the world we're living in right now.
Well, and that's the thing too, because, there's been instances where people have come up, like, I know one specifically, young girl comes up, bleeding and all this. Hey, I was in a car accident. Can you open the door? I need to use your phone. And it's a ruse. Bad guys are in the bushes next door. They're using that person to get you to open the door, and then they bum rush in. Wow. Now, go with that, and, situation dictates what we do. You have that intuition, and if you learn to listen to it, and somebody comes to your door, say at 3:00 in the afternoon, it's a young girl or, a young kid or something, and you're not getting that weird vibe, spidey senses. I'm not saying, not to open the door anytime, but I want you to think about, I want you to think about the things that can happen, and let that situation drive what you do, but just don't automatically go, well, it's 3:00 in the afternoon and, there's somebody, I don't know them, but they look like a good person. So I'm going to open up the door and get yourself in a situation that you don't need to be in, hey, what do you need? Through the ring or through the door. My car broke down over. No problem. I'll call the sheriff's department. Just go sit in your car. They'll be there. Okay. No, can I come in and use your phone? No, you can't. No, you can't. I'll call the sheriff's department for you. Again, having plans and rehearsing those plans, just thinking about it, sitting down and thinking about, hey, if this happens, I think I'm going to do this. And they're generic plans, but what we're doing is we're developing this kind of mental mind map, this mental Rolodex of an experiential base through playing this what if game of, if this happens, I'm going to do this. And then as I get more information or I find myself in that situation, gathering more information, we can make good choices.
Yeah. I wanted to ask about two things. One is like a military grade, I don't even know if this is a thing, but like a military grade flashlight, or like a flashlight that's so bright it's sort of blinding. Is that a good idea to have at least one of those in the house? There you go.
High output flashlight that you can have in your house.
Can I take a picture of this?
Hey, you absolutely can take a picture of that.
So you have this on you? You have one too?
She does.
Is it the same brand?
It is the same brand.
Okay. Make sure I got that. Yeah, I did. Yep. So this is a stream light.
Yep.
Macro stream USB charger. It looks like.
Yep. You pull the end. You can plug it in USB. They've got ones that are off of batteries and that.
Oh, jeepers.
Yeah. I was going to say, you might want to watch that.
That's bright.
That's a bright light.
Wow. Do you, holy cow. That is so bright. Look at that. So, all right. So this has a setting you just press and hold.
Yeah, it's got where you can just press and release if you need it, or you can press and it'll click and stay on constant.
Okay. So do you keep that on you at all times?
I carry it in my pocket all the time, and not just for quote-unquote tactical situations or whatever you want to call them. I use the heck out of this thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit older. You can see I need reading glasses and that. If there's not a lot of ambient light, I need my reading glasses plus a little bit of light. But it's also, we were talking about less than lethal options. I can use this to blind, disorient, and distract to create opportunities for me to do other things. Ideally to disengage, to, walk away from that situation. The size that it is and the way that I pick it is it's also long enough I could use it as an impact weapon if I needed to.
Okay.
But having something like this, on your person, in the house, electricity goes out, you need to find where the candles are and that's great. You can use it in a protective role, variety of uses, and they don't cost all that much. If I blast somebody in the face with this, with the light, you go, oh, that's really bright, but there's no damaging effect. But I can use it to, like I say, create opportunities for me to do other things if need be.
Okay, so that's something that people should have at the very least in the home, maybe even keep it on their person.
Yep.
And then the other was goes back to, this was 10 years ago. I was in a buddy's house in upstate New York, and he had a shotgun on the wall by his bed, and he had slug, buckshot, slug, buckshot, slug, buckshot. His theory was every other man, come at me. I have a shotgun. Is that how you would suggest loading it, or just go all buckshot or all slug, or how would you think about that?
Again, everybody's situation is a little bit different. The slug, buckshot, really good combination. We also have to be in tune with what's our house made out of, where are other people in the house, what's my marksmanship ability, because if we have, buckshot has a pattern. So if we get outside of, say, that person, if we're legally justified to use it, again, going back to that, and one of those misses them, If we have a shoot through or if we have a catastrophic miss, say, especially with a slug, where are our kids in relation to where we're shooting? So it goes back to that universal safety rules that we go by all the time of, be sure your back's up, what's beyond it, what's around it, what's in between you and that threat or target, depending on what the circumstances are. Because if it goes through, where's it going to go? So we look at our house, where we live, what happens if this continues to keep going, where is it going to go? Is it going to hit anybody? And that'll kind of dictate, what our load is going to be.
I see.
Okay. Rural areas, like it sounds like that's where your buddy was. You all were rural then?
At the time, it was kind of in the country. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might be, and if his marksmanship is good and he deems that it's good in the house, then yeah, good setup. Maybe all buck might be one. Maybe it might be all slug. Really just depends on you analyzing that situation that you're in.
Okay. Better marks person could go more slug focused.
Sure.
Less accurate, go buckshot, particularly if there's not issues with kids on the other side of the threat maybe.
Yep.
Okay.
And I mean, that's, I think, something too, when we're talking especially home defense, whatever it is, whether it's a pistol or a rifle or a shotgun, and regardless of caliber, is in our homes, there isn't much things that will stop bullets. Maybe around the door frames, if a dresser, refrigerator, bookshelves, things like that. But, just walls and that, we're going to have over penetration.
Yep.
So as we're analyzing and thinking about, hey, if I have to move to a threat, where are they potentially going to be? And what I mean by that is like, where's your front door set up? Where's your back door set up? Where's your garage door set up? Where do we think that they're going to move? I've done my research, and I know statistically when people come into homes that this is where they go. So if I have to engage somebody, where am I going to engage them? Where is that in relation to the other people that are in the house?
Mm-hmm. Do you know where people tend to go when they get in a home?
So from, the research that I've done and for what, I teach in classes is about 60% of people that are breaking into homes come in the front door. They go straight to the bedroom, especially if they're looking for your stuff. Okay, so somebody's coming to burglarize your home because we tend to keep things in our bedrooms, in sock drawers and things like that. And when they're coming in for stuff, normally they're in your home for about 3 minutes.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Now, it could be a little bit more, a little bit less, depending. Each year it's a little bit different, and as things change. Like I said, there's a difference. So a home invasion is anybody that's in your home that you haven't invited. Mm-hmm. Okay. Somebody that is a burglar that's coming into your home, they want your stuff. So generally they don't want you there. Somebody that's coming to rob you, or what most people put into, actually term home invasion, yeah, they want your stuff, but also there's some sort of ill intention there. Now that can kind of change things. Again, still a lot of times coming in the front door, and then they think of where are you if they have ill intent. If they come in the middle of the night, where are you going to be? Mm-hmm. You're going to be in your bedroom, right? Mm-hmm. Where's your front door in relationship to your bedroom? I always tell people and think about, like, where's your front door in relation to where your kids are at, and where are you with that front door, and how can we get between, where a threat might come in and the people that we care about, because that might cause me then to maneuver to get between that threat and them. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we have to make some sacrifices, for the people that we care about to make sure that they're protected. So, but as we're doing this analysis and this threat assessment, and we're playing this what if game around our home, these are all things that we kind of think about.
Yeah.